Governor Jeannie Buss says she does have the final say, or as her late great father, Dr. Jerry Buss, would say, the final hammer. Jeannie Buss, welcome to the show today. We're really happy to have you. How do you feel?
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
I know you're doing the car wash, so you've had a lot of interviews. Ours, obviously, will be the best of them all. And I spoke with you during the commercial break. Huge Laker fan. So I'm speaking, obviously, as a journalist, but also as a fan. Last couple of years have been rough, documented. We thought we had Phil Jackson. You mentioned it was betrayal when he wasn't hired. We'll talk about that later. We had Mike D'Antoni, a couple of losing seasons, Kobe injured. The list goes on and on. And right now, the state of the Lakers seems like it's a state of emergency. What is going on with the organization?
I think that certainly when Kobe suffered the Achilles injury, that was devastating. The organization is just trying to get back on its feet. Kobe's back, looks, as good as Kobe has looked in years. We have new young players. We have a new coach. So, I'm excited about our future, but I understand the concern. We didn't make the playoffs last year, and that is not anything that we are used to in the Laker organization.
The script has always been win a championship. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon.
I don't know how you can say that, because every year, I really don't like when a front office can say, well, we don't have the players that we need to win a championship. How do you know that in October? Let the players, let the coach, let them play the season out. Let them try to accomplish and take steps towards that goal. And I can tell you that every year that Phil Jackson coached, he always had a path to a championship. Sometimes it was a straight line, and sometimes it was over a lot of hurdles. But he always started the season with that goal and allowed the players to have a chance to show what they have.
Go ahead, Skip.
You want to go?
You want me to go?
Yes, sir.
I thought, well, you're the man here. You're the NBA guy. Okay, well, I'll ask this.
Okay.
This is what I don't understand, and just help me out and forgive me for not getting this. But you hold the title of president of the Los Angeles Lakers. You sit on the board of governors of the National Basketball Association. Yet it appears to us on a routine daily basis that your brother, who's a year older than you are, does operate with final say on basketball matters. Why is that?
I defer to our basketball front office to make basketball decisions. I've empowered them. They have a vision. Mitch Kupchak, my brother Jim Buss, see the game a similar way. They have a plan that they need to execute. We need to give them time to show us what that plan is. And I'm not a basketball expert. I wouldn't be a person that would be making basketball decisions. So I have faith in them as a front office to do what needs to be done to take the Lakers back into contention.
But you have been a part of this for a long, you grew up in this. So I have to respect your basketball acumen. You've been with Phil Jackson for a long time. I have to respect what you've learned from him. So I have to respect that your better judgment would occasionally tell you, no, we should do this instead of that.
Well, I think that when there was an opportunity, when Mike Brown left, and they were looking for a new coach, they spoke to Phil. There was that impression that Phil got and that I got, that the job was his if he felt that he wanted to come back and do it. He needed 48 hours to talk to his family, to get medical clearance, because if he committed to the job, he wanted to make sure that he could fulfill that obligation. He was coming off a knee replacement. So when they made the decision to go with Mike D'Antoni, I was hurt because I have a bias towards Phil. I wanted Phil to come back and coach. And so I understand Jimmy and Mitch felt that Mike D'Antoni was better suited for the team, and I'll never agree to that as long as
so why didn't you drop the hammer at that point and say, no, we're going to do this?
At that time, my father was still alive, and I wasn't in the role that I'm in now. And certainly having Phil around was maybe a source of conflict for me and my brother, but now Phil has moved on. He's got another job. There is no source of conflict, and I'm behind our front office 100%, and I feel that my job is to give them all the tools that they need to be successful. So we have the best fans, the best arena, the best broadcast partners, the best sponsors. I've done all that I need to do. Now it's up to them to do their job.
It's lovely seeing you, by the way. Let me say that first. Thank you very much for being on the show. Where is your brother? I mean, when I say that and I ask that question, I mean, how actively involved is he on a day-to-day basis in doing his role with the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, he lives in Los Angeles. He loves the Lakers. He and Mitch, when I walk by Mitch's office, they're in there together, talking, discussing, planning. I think that they've got a vision of what they want to accomplish, and they've assured me that they can get the job done, because even after, when Phil was looking at other opportunities, I asked if there was any role that Phil could take in the Laker organization, because I wanted selfishly for him to stay in Los Angeles. And my brother said that there was no room for Phil in the organization or for anybody else. So he and Mitch have it covered. They've assured me that they can get the job done.
Do you believe that your brother came to that conclusion strictly due to basketball reasons, or is there personal animus between himself and Phil Jackson that leads to him wanting just him and Mitch to run the show and not including Phil Jackson?
Well,
at the time.
I can't answer for Mitch or for Jimmy, but I could understand where they may feel there was too many cooks in the kitchen. And Phil is a very strong personality, and Phil has a very clear vision of what he believes the game should be about. And if that isn't what, if they weren't on the same page that way, I could see where that would not make them comfortable, and that they would feel that it would be in conflict with what they were trying to accomplish.
Obviously, anybody that knows the game of basketball has profound respect for Mitch Kupchak. Mitch Kupchak has established himself as a stout executive in the NBA, and anybody associated with the NBA knows what Mitch Kupchak brings to the table. The Lakers organization missed out on getting Chris Paul because Commissioner Stern at the time had something to do with that, nixing that deal. But outside of that, when you look at marquee guys, most recently a Dwight Howard, or over this summer, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Bosh, guys like that, usually the Lakers organization was synonymous with getting the guys, people didn't believe that they would be able to get Shaquille O'Neal. Once upon a time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Gil Goodrich goes to Utah, and y'all got rights, and then from Utah, you end up getting Magic Johnson, all of this other stuff. The Lakers always seem to find a way, because the Lakers always seem to be a coveted destination. Would you consider the Lakers organization under the stewardship of Jim Buss as the face of basketball operations? Would you still consider the Lakers a desired organization in the eyes of players out there now that your daddy, God rest his soul, is gone?
Absolutely. Any player that wouldn't see the benefits of wearing a Lakers jersey, playing in an arena like Staples Center in front of the fans that the Lakers have, I think we're a top destination for any free agent. So, yes, I'm not worried about attracting free agents.
Last question. I want to remind everybody, just to make sure, piggybacking off Skip, you do have the power. Like, you choose to let your brother, if he's going to make final decisions of basketball operations. But at any given moment, it is clear that Jeanie Buss can overrule, can usurp his authority. Is that correct?
Yes, and I announced that because I wanted everybody, the fans, the organization, our partners to understand that there is one ultimate authority, one source of accountability, and that lies with me. And certainly I have the ability to remove any employee from their position, and I've empowered our front office to accomplish a goal, but they understand there has to be a timeline. And if they're not successful, then a change has to happen.
What's the timeline?
Your brother was quoted as saying 3 years.
Right, and that's
so
what
after
I've been,
3 years, so 2 has already been in place. Is this final year?
No, I would say this is the year 1, and there would be 2 more years. And so, and I have confidence that they have everything that they need to put this team back to where they should be. And I have no doubts that Kobe is healthy and that he will contribute, and he is worth every penny that we're paying him. And you know, he's a once-in-a-generation talent, and we are blessed to have him on our team.
And speaking of that, there's a story I'm sure you're aware of running currently in ESPN, the magazine, by Henry Abbott, whose premise is that the biggest reason the Lakers haven't been able to land a free agent is Kobe Bryant. And a key quote near the end of the piece from a Lakers insider is, Kobe wants to win, but only as long as he's the reason we are winning. Your reaction to that?
You know, show me the free agent that isn't coming to the Lakers because of Kobe Bryant, and then I'll show you a loser. Because if they're afraid to play with Kobe Bryant, then they don't belong on the Lakers.
Would Dwight Howard qualify?
Dwight Howard, you know, Dwight Howard was a wonderful player for the Lakers. When he came here, he did everything that he was asked to do. I regret the fact that he played from day one. His back wasn't 100%. He shouldn't have played. I remember the day the trade was made, people called me wanting to buy tickets, and I said, why don't you wait till January, because we don't know when Dwight's going to play. But he wanted to be part of it because we thought it was going to be a championship year. He was a great person in the organization, but you have to look at when they removed Mike Brown and there was an opportunity to bring Phil back, they chose Mike D'Antoni, whose offense did not suit Dwight Howard. So Dwight had to feel that, you know, for the success that he wanted in his career, to bring out the best in Dwight, he saw that playing for Mike D'Antoni wasn't going to make Dwight Howard the best player he could be. And what I love about our league is, you know, it's collectively bargained that the players have opportunities to be free agents. And at points in their career, they get to choose exactly the situation that they want to play in. So I see that the reason Dwight didn't stay was he saw that the team was being built for Steve Nash, not for Dwight Howard.
All right, you say they chose D'Antoni, Jeannie. Let's leave it right there, come back and discuss it, because Phil Jackson said he